We are now on the fourth element of state, which is government. How do you define government? It is that institution or aggregate of institutions by which an independent society makes and carries out those rules of action which are necessary to enable men to live in a social state, or which are imposed upon the people forming that society by those who possess the power and authority of prescribing them. It is the aggregate of authorities which rules the society. The definition of government simply tells us that it is the representation of state authority. It is through the government that the inherent powers of the state are exercised. It is through the government that the rules are executed. Government steers the state to its desired national policy. Government directs the people and the state affairs according to its declared policies. So we have the classification of what governments are. We have de facto and de jure classification of government according to its legitimacy. De facto government is a government that is without a title. There are several examples of this, but an example that could be good is one that is made through or by a sub-state, or that claims itself to be a sub-state, autonomous from the central government, but it lacks the elements for statehood. So it asserts some sort of authority over its declared territory. For example, it may have a government, but because the state is incomplete in composition, its government does not have true control over its territory. No? So a de facto government is a government that has existence, no, in name, but has no real authority or title. You have de facto states with de facto governments. Um, it's normally um, it normally lacks diplomatic ties because of the lack of diplomatic recognition. Though we have to consider the Montevideo Convention, no, in the matter of the necessity of recognition. But for these kinds of states that has governments that are de facto, that assert themselves against the legitimate government, sometimes this triggers violence, if not civil war, because of conflicting perceptions on the true governing body, on the true government. So there is also, if there's a de facto government, there is what we call a de facto leadership. A de facto leader may maintain himself as the true leader without having been given authority by election or whatever means there may be in law, in their domestic law, that gives authority to a leader to lead. An example is Pinochet. No? He was a de facto leader, chairperson of the military junta that overthrew the legitimate president then, no? In Chile. He continued to rule and even established his accomplishments while he was a de facto leader until his subsequent takeover by another leader who won the elections. No? He was eventually rejected. No? His candidacy when he ran for office was rejected. The second is de jure government. A de jure government is that which is placed following the legal processes. No? Um, a government that is overthrown, a legitimate government that is overthrown, may reacquire its legitimate governance if it succeeds the de facto government. No? But this case of Lawyers League, we already had this versus Aquino on the matter of the legitimacy of the Aquino government. What is the key point here in Lawyers League is that the people have spoken. This is the power of the sovereign belonging to the people, and the people have spoken. People power revolution. So that the government of Aquino no longer is de jure or de facto, but already de jure. Classifications of governmental functions. You have constituent and ministrant. We had this in the previous video. Okay. And then the matter of government now and public welfare, the protection of public welfare. This is parents patriae, the concept of parents patriae, father of the nation. The concept is that the state gives through the government those who have to those who have less in life, more in law, to provide protection to persons and properties who deserve protection of the state, including those persons suffering from disadvantage, handicap. They are placed in a situation where they they deserve to be given more protection by the state. So Section 1 of the Constitution in fact says that all persons have the right to human dignity, the reduction of economic and political inequalities, and the removal of cultural inequities. The promotion of social justice in Section 2 of Article 13 are manifestations of the state's role as the father of the nation, no? Through government. No? This is manifested when the state protects minors. State, as parents patriae, is under the obligation to minimize the risk or harm to those who, because of their minority, are as yet unable to take care of themselves. So they are given more protection in law because of their minority. In fact, the state has the obligation to protect victims of violence or crimes, no, because of their minority, yung mga bata. The state also protects the labor sector. Um, the state gives primacy to labor in many ways, no? Like allowing them to organize, and the presumption of in favor of labor for labor cases, no? Women are also protected by law. Legislation is in place to protect women against sexual or domestic abuses. Okay? And the state recognizes the role of women in nation building and ensures the fundamental equality before the law of women and men. So women are protected against discrimination, gender discrimination. The family is also protected by the Constitution. Um, it's That's why we have difficulties in enacting laws relating to reproductive health or same-sex marriages because of the fear that it might deteriorate the concept of family. That's already also very debatable. No? Um, the state recognizes the family as the foundation of the nation. It shall strengthen the solidarity and actively promote the total development of the family. In Section 3 also of Article 15, there are also um, the obligation of the state to defend the rights of spouses to found a family, the right of children to assistance, including proper care, the right of the family to a family living wage and income, and the right of families or family associations to participate in the planning and implementation of policies and the programs of government. This case of Falsis versus civil registrar. You read this case, very interesting, because what was challenged is the provision on the on the family code requiring marital union to be between a man and a woman. You try to see in the Constitution if there is a mention there that marriage should be between man and the woman because it's a statutory requirement. But there is a fear among civil society groups, moralists, that changing the perception of the law on women on marriage to be possible for persons of the same gender might deteriorate the concept of the family. Public in general is protected by the state through the government. No? Remember also that when the state protects the underprivileged through the government, no, those who advocate for it or assert social justice must come to court with clean hands, must not only invoke the poverty card. It's not automatic that if you are poor, that you are already perceived to be the underdog under the law. You must also prove your cause. So under the administrative code, if you speak of government, you have the definitions there of what the government of the republic is, the national government and the local government. These definitions are necessary in order for us to determine the different reaches of governmental institutions or branches. This is the basic function, structure of the national government. Um, it's already incomplete because we have also the BARM. Okay, so thank you for listening. In parting, we remember that our government is so created to promote democracy. We remember that in a democracy, the control of government is popular. It is not exclusive to one or a few. So power must be distributed, and the distribution of powers must not be dominated by a few or by one, because that would be tyranny.